All right, guys, welcome back to the MD Medic Podcast. Today, I'm going to interview my one and only blood brother, E.
What's up, boss?
Let's get right into it. Alright guys, today I'm going to have an interview with my bro, my blood, E, right here. It's great to be back home with family, spend some time. Guys, on this channel, we're all about making you guys into a high value man. We're all about teaching young boys the path to become successful, to become strong, to become rich, to become wealthy, to get the women that you want and get the life that you want. And I think there's no other better way to learn than to interview somebody who is actually on the path himself, someone that's actually making boss moves in his day-to-day life. So we're going to teach by example. I'm going to ask him some questions, I'm going to interview him, and I hope you guys can learn some things about his path, about his journey becoming a high-value man. Hope you kids watching, you young, hungry teenagers that want to make it in life, that you guys can learn something from this. And we're going to first start off by saying thank God for the freedom of the top G, Andrew Tate. Tristan Tate. Yes, shout out to the Tates. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Listen, God hears the prayers of the righteous.
Clap it up.
The righteous men have been let go. The Matrix will not win this fight. So, shout out Top G. Let's get right into it. I'm going to introduce my brother. This is E. Yo, this guy right here. This guy's a professional chef. Has gone through culinary school. This guy did internships at Mar-a-Lago, cooking for people like Donald Trump and the very best of them. This dude is a G. This guy's been working his butt off. He's been stacking that money, and he is only 24 years old. This guy is living a G, guys. Listen, this is an example of what I'm telling you guys to do. Start young, stay ambitious, and you can be on the path of this man right here. So,
being focused too. It's like, it's not just being hungry, but a focus, a drive, having a purpose, and not just doing it for what others say about you. Like, do it for yourself, man. Because at the end of the day, those people that are surround you right now can poof in the next hour just because they don't like, you know, who you are as a person. You know what I mean? They're jealous. You're just doing that much better than them. Yeah. And so they're just like, well, you changed. No, I didn't change. You just can't keep up. You know what I mean? So. You gotta have it for yourself. Don't do it for nobody else.
That goes into one of the episodes I was talking about how you should really choose your friend groups and people that you can have around you. You know, if you surround yourself with nothing but losers, then it becomes really easy to become complacent. You know, like there's people who, if you're shining, if you're successful, you know, if you are working hard and you're starting to see incremental goals and incremental increases and incremental successes, those people will see that and be like, man, you're doing so good. Why don't you just stop right there? Why don't you relax? Dude, they're putting bitch tendencies into you.
Yeah.
And you surround yourself by killers and people who are even going to shame you when you're not doing enough. Like, I get when when Andrew and Tristan Tate talk about how they find so much power in brotherhood because they have each other to constantly challenge one another. Like, I get that because I have that kind of relationship with my brother. And you guys need to surround yourself by killers. Totally just surround yourself by people that will help you to break the mold, help you to break that mold of complacency. Mm-hmm. And that kind of goes to the first question that I wanted to ask you. You know,
man, what's up?
What do you think is the hardest part about growing up as a young black boy who wants to go against the grain and be something different, other than the stereotypical, thug model, the stereotypical, either you're a rapper, or you're a basketball player, you're not cool. And I mean, as you know, that kind of idea, that persona is really pushed on us in the black community.
Yeah.
And you're shunned, you're called whack, you're called gay, all this kind of stuff. You act too white. If you don't want to go into those personas, but that's you. Come on, let's be honest. That's not where the money's at, and we're here to get this money.
Yeah,
that's not where the money's at.
I mean,
how did you overcome?
The money's there. Let's not run away from it, but it's
on
not,
a balance of probabilities. It's not for everybody.
But I'm saying, it's not a money that's gonna last for a long time. You know what I mean? Like it's quick, fast money. It's stuff you're flashing. It's stuff you're spending daily just to get it back the next day. And that's not the goal. I'm trying to make money that sets up my lineage, that sets up my life, that sets up my last name. That when I die, my kids have my same money.
Come on.
And then guess what? My kids have the same money. It's 200 years.
Yeah.
And I made that much impact.
The family name means something.
Yeah. So that's the goal.
So what was the hardest part about resisting
the
the culture and the stereotype that everybody wanted to have, that young black boys should be into the thug culture and not actually about your business? Like, how did you decide that you wanted to stand out, that you wanted to resist, that you wanted to go against that, despite all your friends and everybody around you saying that's what you should be?
It's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. Man. Well, one, I'll say, because it's a very important piece to like being a guy is girls. So just the attraction of the girls just didn't sit right with my soul. You know what I mean? The certain type of women that you would see, the certain type of guys that you would be around, it was just like, this is not conducive to my health. This is not conducive to my mental. And then you start to question, like, can I really see myself around these kind of people? Yeah. And those bad habits, that language, the style, all that starts to rub off on you. And then you're stuck in this rabbit hole. You can't really get out. And so when you try to represent yourself in a money facet, right? If you try to go, talk to my man right here, he's just gonna be like, and just, you know what I mean? It goes over a boss's head, essentially. That's what I'm saying. And so you can only dwell with the crabs, and I'm not trying to dwell.
So when
you're
talking about girls, like, so I made an episode one time. You saw the episode, you commented, and you gave me a call about it, where I said, like, oftentimes you get a lot of like real sharp dudes that have a fire in there, dudes that are hungry, that are wanting to get out here. And let's be honest, as dudes, we always have that desire to get a piece of pussy. Let's be honest. And so a lot of black dudes, they grow up, and if they're attracted to black women and black girls, what they're looking for in a guy is that thug mentality. And and if you're not that, then they'll shame you and make you feel like, hey, you need to be that for me to be attracted. And so for me, like, as you know, I've never been with a black girl. And it's not because I wouldn't, but it's because I have gone towards people who have been supportive of the mindset and places that I'm going. And so I've avoided that because I know a lot of black dudes are sharp. They have that fire in there. They have that intensity. They have that desire to get somewhere.
But they'll settle.
Because they'll change and make themselves something else trying to get laid. Trying to get the attention of chicks. So is that what you were kind of talking about there when you said the girls?
Yeah.
And what they expect out of you? Is that what you were talking about?
The road to success is not a bountiful one. What I mean by bountiful, it's very lonely. Real talk. It's a mental battle. It's a struggle to, like, my beginning point. You gotta have a purpose. You gotta do it for yourself. You can't just be like, okay, I want to make this money and I want to be successful. Okay, take it a step further. Yep. You just have to. That next gear is needed. And so just back to piggyback on your point, to say, like, if you don't represent yourself in that thug manner, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not all black women, but it's majority, and the majority listen to the culture, the majority listen to the music, the influencers, the women that represent black women, no good. And if there aren't any good ones, it's few and far between, or they're significantly older, so it's kind of hard to relate to her. And so, to me, women nowadays are just very, they're just lost. I won't say there isn't any hope. They're just very lost.
100%.
And then they're content as well with being in their situation because money's being thrown at them.
Yeah.
The guys that they want are being thrown at them. The opportunities, you know what I mean? So they're like, what's the point of changing?
Yeah.
This is what I want in life, right? And so
We got too many simps out here
It's like-
that will never tell a girl no.
You know what I mean?
Even when she's acting a whole fool, they'll never tell a girl no because they just want to get a whiff of
Exactly.
pussy. Like, and honestly, listen, I'm gonna give some black girl game right now. If any of you beautiful black women are watching, I'm gonna give you some game because let's be honest, my entire life I've always heard why is it that all the white girls, all the Latin girls, all the Asian girls are taking on the good black men? And
There's two things. I know why.
go ahead, talk about it. But let me say this: if you want to get one, don't ever talk like that, and B, be different from the stereotype that we're talking about.
different.
That because listen,
Blow
the
her
first thing that I ever wanted was a black girl. That's the first thing I ever went
It
to
is your
look
first
for.
love. It is your
Because
first love.
you look for who looks like
Absolutely.
you. But when I was turned away, man, by those when I was on the up and up, then I didn't want to give people attention when they want to holler my way when I finally made it, But yeah, that's just some game if you're wanting to land a chocolate man and you're in the black community and you want to keep one.
Be what do you essentially? I guess what he's trying to say is like give what you feel like is it your type a chance. It can't hurt. He might show you a whole new horizon. He might show you a whole new skill or a hobby that you be like, wow, that's super cool. He plays piano.
Yeah.
He fences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He does
Don't
something
be like
crazy.
Don't be like this nigga gay. You don't have enough felonies. You don't have enough
Yeah,
baby
it's
mamas.
not-
What? You don't smoke weed? I don't want you. You know what? You don't hit women. You don't have 14 baby mamas by 8 women. I don't want you. There's not enough red flags. No, don't be like that. Like appreciate the qualities of a high value man that you
Yeah.
find in a black man and don't shame. Dude, I guarantee you'll have this man's heart. By the way, ladies, he's single and he makes fantastic mojitos. I'm drinking this.
It's wine and alcohol.
Listen, lime, it's got some mint in it, some white rum. This dude knows how to make a drink and make a meal. I'm telling you, this dude's a catch. DM me at MD Medic Podcast if you want to learn more about this man right here and get some contact information. I'm just gonna put this guy on blast real quick. But we talked about. You said that there was a couple reasons. You said that there's 2 reasons.
So no.
why.
You were
Go ahead.
you were asking why fair skinned women pull all the black men. Number one, and I'm gonna be real, black women.
Let me just be. Are you by fair skin? Are you saying non-black women? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you say Latino,
Sure.
European, literally anybody that doesn't have melanin in their skin, anyone, right?
Well, I mean, Indians and Latin people do. So you need to more specifically say African, non-African.
Non-African American, my bad. You're right. But number one on the list, and this, don't necessarily beat yourself up.
Ladies and gentlemen, take notes.
Beat your grandma up, beat your mom, beat your auntie, beat all the women in your life for not teaching you those recipes. I know you've heard it before. The number one key to a man's heart is to his stomach. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of black women nowadays, yes, they can cook, but it's basic. I don't want spaghetti every day. I don't want Alfredo every day. I don't want chicken every day. You know what I'm saying? Really get in that bag. So when you go to your grandma's house, you got chicken and rice this day. You come back, it's pork chops. You come back, it's meatloaf. Then you come back, it's fish. Then you come back, it's turkey. And it's like, yo, grandma, what's going on?
Listen, by the way, we from the South, so
Whoa.
when we talk about eating. We talk about a whole
this
different
isn't
level.
gravy. You know what I'm saying? She making pancakes from scratch. She's might as well make her own bacon. Like, no, my grandma, what?
Oh, yeah.
You know what time it is.
Man, and I'm gonna say this.
So yeah, recipes is a lost art that I feel like would help a lot of relationships. Because if you kind of just throw that out the way, you're like, well, I can Uber Eats, okay? But then if you have no substance as a person, we're not really doing anything. You're not really learning anything. There's nothing conducive. The second thing I would say, the reason why they are, is they're approachable.
Oof.
They're friendly.
I think
They no matter if she doesn't give you your number or not, she genuinely be like, all right, I'll have a conversation.
you won't have your feeling, even if she rejects your
You
feelings.
know what I'm saying? She
like,
will base minimum be like,
Right.
you're cool,
Yeah,
just
man.
not my type. But I at least talk to you. I got to know who you are. hey, good luck on your journey.
Dude,
have a great day,
yeah.
and leave with a smile. Not
I'll
leave
tell
with
you
an
something.
attitude. Not, you know what I mean?
Out of all the times
For
I
sure.
remember when I was in-
Approachability, bro.
When I was in middle school
Approachability.
and high school, you know, all the times when I would cold approach a girl, if it was a black girl, if I got rejected, it was always, man, your shoes look like XYZ. Like, you'd always, like, leave with your feelings hurt.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
just
Nah, for sure.
this pure, like, aggression. Whereas, you know, if I got rejected by white, Asian, Latin girl, it was, you know, it was rejection. That still stung, but I didn't feel bad about
So
myself
the
afterwards.
reason why-
So I agree about the approachability.
What I've learned is like, just black people in general. I fall victim to it. You fall victim to it. Even example right now, it's an innate behavior to always represent yourself as the best. So that's what honestly really pisses me off about
What do you mean
black
by
folk.
that? Go into that.
Like we have an innate kingship in us. It run you like you can look at a random homeless person with a talent and you'd be like, why are you homeless? Like the genius is just oozing out of you, but you just got on the wrong stuff. Or to go like you said with the clothes. I mean, I completely get off topic, but just it's innately to always look the best. Even if we're like going to a little brunch, you gotta put that on. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. If it's my pants, you can be like, something's different about him. That's just black people. Like, you know, white people. What? Cargo shorts, t-shirt.
Yo, by the way,
You know, flip flops.
all my white viewers,
Or
love
if-
you guys.
Oh yeah, love you guys.
By the
But you
way,
know what I'm saying?
listen,
It's
we-
real simple.
hey, y'all,
You
love
guys be
guys.
tearing them Air Force up. You
Love
know,
me
them
some-
Air
love me
Force
some white-
Ones, gotta
listen,
be killing
love
them.
me some white women, so please.
Hey, yo.
Listen.
But it's for real. I think we just care a lot. I mean, and that's why Jordan blew up. That's why Adidas blew up. That's why, you know what I mean? You name any brand blew up. And I'm not gonna get into like why all these high fashion, because real talk, it's not really high fashion. We only grabbed bottom of the barrel. Gucci, I'm throwing it out there.
But you think Gucci's bottom of the barrel?
Yes, when it comes to fashion.
Bro.
No, when it comes to clothes, for sure. But when they get in their bag, it's the shoes, it's the belts, and the watches.
Sure, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what Gucci shines. But their shirts, their pants.
Shoot all these shots at my watches, at my belt.
It is the lowest quality out of. No, it is the lowest quality out of all the brands.
Yeah.
Gucci's at the bottom of the barrel. It just is. And so I think we're just a boxed people. And my whole goal when I make it is to like not give you the like, okay, I kind of want to be a double-edged sword. I want to give her meaning, because we're still on top of the women, the thug image, right? Thug image meaning I show something that is dangerous. I show something that is intriguing to her to be like, okay, I like that. But then when she gets to know me, when I open my mouth, the intellect just starts to flow, and she's like, it's not making any sense, but my body won't let me run away.
Right.
I love that. So that's my purpose. Like I said, you got to find a purpose. My purpose is to be astronomically different.
So I dare say that, you know, I've made 2 episodes now about how men should be dangerous, and not just black men, but all men in
Yeah,
general. And
for
that's
sure.
not even something that's attributed to the thug mentality. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I told you guys, like, me, my entire life, all I've done was martial arts. Grew up doing karate, MMA, kickboxing, wrestling. My brother grew up the exact same way. Like, since we were, 5 and 6, all we've done is martial arts.
We're doing different. That's what I'm saying. Different
We're-
sports.
we're
We could
dangerous.
have did the football. We
Yeah.
could have did the basketball. But we were like,
Yeah, but
You
that
know
goes
what I
into
mean?
like I think that
Just
being
not
a
us.
dangerous man is part of being a man. Period, and
Just
not just a thug mentality, not just for black men, but for all men. Being dangerous is necessary.
Yeah.
And I dare say when you're talking about like when a woman, you want a woman to see you as dangerous. No, dangerous is the ability to inflict harm to those who mean harm to you.
dangerous meaning you exude protection.
That's right.
You exude the strongest man in the
Yeah,
room.
since the beginning
energy.
of human history.
So that's what I mean by dangerous. I don't necessarily mean like, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean?
Criminal
No.
proclivities, yeah. Since the beginning of human history, if you look at every single civilization, the people who ended up making it on monuments, on pyramids, and statues, on the sides of stone walls was the strong guy with the sword that stood on top of the mountain that effed everybody else up took their stuff, exerted dominance in warfare and dominance in battle, and all of these men were the ones that had 50 wives while the peasants were happy to get one. Women have always wanted to feel safe, wanted to feel protected, and wanted to feel provided for, and have the top G in the room. Shout out Andrew Tate. Have the top G. So yeah, and on that note, you talked about the food thing. Honestly, I don't even know if it's just a black girl thing that... I don't think it's just a black girl thing of not being able to cook. I'm going to tell you this. Having ran through quite a few women of non-black descent, I can say most of them can't cook now anyways, and it's just the rough time of dealing with this culture now and this thought culture. How would you say the dating marketplace is for a young man in his 20s who's both trying to like focus on like building himself up for the future, secure his bag, and scratch his itches that he has?
You said, what would be the?
What do you how do you think the dating marketplace is in general in terms of women in your 20s right now?
It's unbalanced. It's unfair.
What do you mean?
All the leverage is in the woman's playing field, whereas it's never been like that. You know what I mean? The only leverage they've had is beauty. Period. Point blank. That's the only advantage she has over me. She looks absolutely smoking. She's better.
Yeah. And
now,
I dare say,
when it comes to getting work done, when it comes to anything, any petty thing, running a race, it's night and day cakewalk. But nowadays, a woman can easily a random now. Yeah. They're lazy. They're not focused.
Yeah, and they don't have to be. Think about it. If we're talking about on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of attractiveness, a 1 is like fugly, a 10 is like perfect.
Nobody's a 1 in my book. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Sure, that's fine. A 10 is like perfect, like almost impossible to be.
Correct.
A 5 is your average girl. Like if you are at the proper BMI for your height, you start out as a 5. A 6 is cute. A 6 is cute.
You said if you didn't change after high school, 5.
Right. A 6 is cute. I mean, a 5 is like the bare minimum you're willing to being seen in public. Right. A 6 is cute. A 7 is pretty. An 8 is an Instagram model level. No. A 9 is like
no. Instagram is 8, 9, and 10.
No.
I see. Okay, you're right. You're right.
An 8 is Instagram
they be
model.
capping with the filter.
Right.
You're right. You
a 9 can be published in Vogue.
You're right. My bad.
The thing nowadays is this.
They be capping.
Let's be honest. In every single metric in terms of how hard we can work, the ability to fight. I mean, let's be honest.
To multitask.
If a Mongol were to come up right now with a sword and say, "Hey, woman, defend yourself," no chance.
She's got one thing she can do.
Yeah, and she doesn't get her head cut off first.
That's true.
Try to kick me. / dead.
No, she gets sexy.
Or sexy. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's one thing she can do.
That's her power. But that's it. But because the world has become so easy, where like men aren't challenging each other to a sword fight to the death in the streets anymore. And like, let's be honest.
I mean, I don't kind of wish that though. I don't want to go outside and be like. Nah, I'm good on that.
You know how to use a sword. This man knows how to use a sword, I promise.
Because we do have that is also an issue I can throw out there too. This constant hate between fellow black men.
Yeah.
Put down the guns,
Hold on that real quick. Hold on. We'll get into that. But
that hurts.
The women, we're in a civilization where, a man's conquest. It used to be a man was revered if he can go out, tear up another village, destroy another tribe, conquer them, bring back their men as slaves,
or even just be good at a trade.
Yeah. Now
be the best sheep shepherd in the land.
Sure, but those guys didn't get statues made after them.
I see what you're saying, but I'm saying anybody that is going to be respected, anybody that's going to have somebody follow them, you just got to be good at something. Yeah. Just keep it real simple.
But today,
be good at something.
The equivalent
and be the best.
Today, the equivalence of conquest, the equivalence of our Alexander the Great, is not how many people you can kill in battle, but it's your status.
How many followers?
It's the watch that you're wearing, the followers you have, the car that you drive. And so here's the deal. Because status is something now that is based on social capital,
and you can fabricate it.
An average 5, a woman who has innate value given to her at birth, she gets, even if she's, completely stupid, worthless, lives with her mom, does nothing but smoke weed all day, she's still going to get tons of attention. A 5 probably has had blue check marks in her DMs. As a woman, you are born with everyone instantly attracted to you. As a man, you have to create your value. And so women, because of social media, it used to be that your average chick would have to meet, the only men that she had to meet, that she could meet, were the men who were there in her town. And now she gets to meet men from Dubai, from Munich, from Tokyo, from all over the world, blue check marks. And because she thinks, let's be honest, the majority of women that dudes want to talk to, they want to talk to them for what reason?
But also,
and so girls conflate who wants to screw them with who they can actually keep.
It does.
And
does
so
go
therefore,
into the woman putting herself out there, though.
That is true.
If the woman doesn't put herself out there, and that's why I said you gotta talk to your aunties, you gotta talk to your mama, you gotta talk to your grandma, because they led y'all astray. They failed you guys, absolutely, because there shouldn't be this urge to have to put a sync picture out every single day.
Yeah. Well,
there shouldn't be an urge.
But here's the thing.
I gotta show you this new fit from Shein. Why?
But women are actually
it's cute but cool.
They're rewarded for it though with attention.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. They're rewarded for it. That's what I'm saying.
And that's why the women.
But it's like there should be no need, regardless of attention or not.
But that's why women have all the leverage in their court, because we live in an attention economy, right? We don't live in an economy that basically is whoever is the strongest warrior, the biggest conqueror is the guy who is the G. It's whoever gets the most attention.
It is, but it's what is being talked about the most. If the real work around here, the stuff that's really making America move to keep these lights on, to keep these streets light working. Oh yeah, you got to be a boss in those aspects. You can't be no pushover.
But what's funny is
that's what's being pushed.
The average guy
to distract you.
The average guy who's keeping the lights on, who's keeping the streets working.
Absolutely.
That guy doesn't even exist to the average girl.
Absolutely.
And girls will be like, "Oh, where are all the good men at? I can't get a dude to love me." And her DMs are full of these average guys that are keeping the lights on, that are keeping the streets clean, that are keeping them safe.
Yeah.
But those don't exist because all these women are used to getting constant attention from the blue checkmark people.
Absolutely.
Those women are used to getting constant attention from these high class dudes who literally only see them as smash and pass.
Well, let's also talk about this though.
That's what they think that they deserve.
Not just that though. Let's take it a step further, because I've also learned that money's a big motivator. You don't really gotta be all that. You don't gotta look the best. And you don't gotta have the best. You can be average Joe.
Nah, screw being average.
But you throw 10 bands. You throw 5 bands, she going. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, the thing is, like, as I said, it used to be, if I could come back with the head of the enemy king, that was my status and all the chicks wanted me. Mm-hmm. But now, I can't, just be...
The head turns into money.
My money. That's your status. That's your conquest. That's it. And so here's the thing. An average guy is hopeless out here. But I always say on my show, women have all the leverage naturally, but as a man, the way you get respected by women, the way you have multiple options in women, the way you have the women that you want is by you taking all the leverage to you. Because women, let's be honest, the majority of them, they know that they don't achieve much because they know they don't have to. A 6 can marry a millionaire and her life be straight.
Yeah.
A 6 can end up getting on a yacht. A guy who's a 6 has to buy the yacht. That's a difference. But the thing is, it's so easy as a man to be above average when average sucks so much. 75% of men in the United States are either overweight or obese. The average man in the United States earns
self-discipline.
Yeah, average man in the United States earns $30,000 to $40,000 a year.
Self-discipline. You gotta want better for you.
The average man in the United States watches 3 to 4 hours of TV or plays 3 to 4 hours of video games a day. So being above
games aren't worth it anymore.
Being above average is so easy when average is this low.
Absolutely.
And if you're average, you don't exist to a woman. Did you know? And I quote this statistic on my channel all the time. There is a study called the Tinder Studies 2 where they took all the data from Tinder.
Oh yeah. It's insane.
And they basically said that if you're an average guy, if you're in the bottom 80% of attractiveness of men, then you only have a 1 in 115 chance of getting liked by a woman any given day. You have a 0.87% chance of getting liked by a woman every single day. And guess what? The only women that would even like the bottom percent of men are the bottom 22% of women in attractiveness. The unattractive, overweight women who are all scraping the bottom of the barrel. But 100% of women
or the ones with heavy baggage.
Right. The 100% of women though, 100% of them all like the top 10 to 20% of men.
That's what I was also gonna say. The same guys are getting the whole honeypot.
Yeah.
It's literally, say, out of 10 guys,
right,
those 10 guys are getting 15 to 20,000 women.
Yeah,
easy.
seriously. No,
Like,
if you actually look at
and those 10 guys, it's like, I don't know what to do.
if you actually look at genetic studies,
I heard
though,
that exact study.
If you
So,
look
yeah,
at genetic
it's
studies,
insane.
though, of the
It's
world
insane.
nowadays, did you know that the entire population of humanity can all trace its lineage back to only 40% of men in the history? So, in historical times, only 40% of men since the beginning of human civilization have ever reproduced.
Wow.
Meaning, a small bit of men got all the chicks, the kings, the warlords, the conquerors, the princes, the Instagram influencers, the rappers, the G's, the ballers, the CEOs, the guys driving Lambos. But then the average guy, he's got nothing. The peasant, the serf, the guy who goes and gets sent to the front line, pulled from his farm, and goes to go and fight for the feudal lord, the knights. Listen, those guys are getting nothing. But from the beginning of time, the warlord has always gotten all of them. So that's what I'm saying, guys. As a man, you cannot be average.
Yeah.
You have to be above average. And it's so easy to be above average when the average sucks so bad. So, anyway, I kind of want to go back to your point that you were trying to make about how it hurts you that the black community is like destroying itself, killing itself. Go into that. Kind of went off on a tangent.
It piggybacks onto this attention being a currency. You gotta, like with the music, to me, any mainstream rapper, it's the same beat, just a different pitch, just a different clap, and just a different tone with a different person saying it, but it's the same message. And we hear, you know what I'm saying? The message does not change.
The violence. And
The violence. Big booty girls. We at the
I
club.
like big booty girls.
I'm doing drugs.
Yeah, I
and
get it.
I'm going to repeat this every day. And I have an album of 14 songs saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
I'm good on that. Where's the substance at? Where's the teaching? Don't get me wrong. I want a turn up song every now and then. Don't get me wrong. But I don't need, out of a 20 album list,
Yeah.
18 of them songs talking about
Yeah.
fuck these hoes. Yo, what?
Hey, you know what it
What
is,
we talking
though?
about? Yeah.
You know what it is, though, and I made that video, Young Black Men Should Resist Toxic Black Culture, and you saw it and you gave a commentary on it, but the problem is, we see that, since the 60s with the Great Society legislation being passed with Lyndon B. Johnson, we had the destruction of the black homes when we once had vibrant, strong communities that had their own money,
We were
that had their
weak-minded.
own people, that, these communities that were making money, that had strong conservative Christian values, that had dads in the homes. The majority of black kids were born in a two-parent strong home. When we had the Great Society legislation that incentivized, women to be single moms and to kick the men out of the houses, then we started to see this degradation of culture. We had black boys no longer having...
Stop right there, because that perfect segue, because I saw a video earlier this week. Shout out to Just Pearly.
Yeah, shout out to Pearly.
She was saying, well, somebody on her panel, rather, my bad, was saying that in the 60s, these big magazines understood that women are the 95%
Yes,
of the
that
consumers.
was mediocre tutorials and reviews and Melody King.
They literally
Yeah.
would sell. They would literally throw lies out there, knowing, not saying it's a possibility. They said it's a guarantee that they're going to buy it, guarantee they're going to believe it.
That black woman would say it's...
and then it led into the men leaving. They're like, oh, it's
glorified
better.
the independent woman.
It's
culture.
better to get this check from the government. It's better to get X amount of kids because I get a number above each
Cosmopolitan
kid.
magazine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No.
Yeah.
That was
In Cosmopolitan magazine.
put in place. And that's why I said we're weak minded. Yes, it on paper it sounds great, but then you gotta sit back, be as strong as a Christian that you said you were, and let me like. That's not good for my family. That's not good for this whole flourishing suburb that we got.
Yeah, our own
So
stuff.
I'm okay.
Despite Jim Crow.
I'm all right.
Despite Jim Crow, our own stuff. And
I'm okay.
And and so like once we had the breaking apart of the black families, the removal of dads from the home, we had the single mama epidemic, and as I always say, dads keep sons out of jail and daughters off of stripper poles. We had all of these sons that were now impressionable because they didn't have a strong father figure in the house. And then in the 80s, we had the crack and heroin epidemic hit the big cities.
Pimp.
And then at the same we
Club
had pimp
scene
culture,
came in,
but then at the
disco,
same time we
slut,
had
party time, yeah.
rap music changed from party have a good time to
Not even that.
F the police.
Rap changed to camaraderie. Real talk. If you really listen to old rap, they said nothing. They said
It was
nothing.
fun music.
I'm walking outside, tying my shoes, like nothing.
But then NWA came along.
But there's nothing. Okay,
West Coast rap.
Now, MWA to me is pivotal because it is needed to talk about the brutality that was given to us.
That was a small section of their message.
It was just the way they were.
The majority of West Coast rap was glorifying thug culture. Was talking about running trains on chicks and stuff.
For sure,
right? I mean, and yeah, talking about brutality and stuff. But let's be honest,
but you got to throw out the Tupacs out there that actually.
Yeah, sure, but even about the brutality thing,
you know what I mean?
I don't know if you saw on Fresh and Fit that one time when Carlton White came on, and he said, yeah. School shootings of black people do happen by the police, but you don't see too many niggas getting shot if they're wearing a construction uniform about to go to a job site. You don't see too many niggas getting shot if they're wearing a suit about to go to the business suite. You don't see too many niggas getting shot if they're wearing clothes and work boots about to go to a job. You don't see too many of them niggas getting shot.
It's facts.
So when NWA hit the street, you have to have a reason to interact with the cops in the first place.
You do, just like.
But when NWA hit the scene and they were talking about the gangster rap, selling drugs, killing people, running women,
having the ice, have to have this, have to have that,
and then you had the drug culture coming, and at the same time you had movies like New Jack City hitting, where it says, you know, hey, Nino Brown, you can be rich by fast, easy money by selling drugs. All these kids who are impressionable, who didn't have dads there to beat their ass and to say, hey, this isn't the way. Go to church, be an upstanding citizen. Pay your taxes, obey the law. All these impressionable kids, they saw, hey, these are strong masculine figures. I've never had a daddy around. I've never had somebody that gave me a way to shine, that showed me the way to do things. And here they're talking about making fast, easy money that's making them get respected by other men, getting feared by other men, getting all the girls. And so you had this, all of a sudden, all these impressionable kids, they started running towards the streets because they didn't have any other role models any other way. And that has gone down through the generations to what we have now. And so that's why you see the thug culture in the communities. That's why even now today, 77% of black kids in America are born to single-parent houses. And the same thing happening. Now we have even more of a thug culture. It's more mainstream. And what sells in the music is riding in my mother roll. Shot a nigga in the head to see what his mind do. Yeah, I mean, right. That's what sells now.
Yep.
And because that's what sells now, it's a constant cycle of, hey, I make this music. These kids are inspired. They have a tough they have a tough masculine role model, even though it's toxic. They buy more of my records, which incentivize me to make more of it. And then these kids are like, you know what? The dream is to either be a drug dealer, dope boy, or a rapper. So I'm gonna go become a rapper. And if all the rap that I've ever listened to growing up was saying this, and this kind of music I'm gonna make, and then more kids listen to this, buy more of my records, which incentivizes me to make more of stuff like this. It's a cycle, bro. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
And it's really tough to break out of.
It's a like I was going back to the box. It's you gotta understand like how critical black folk are too as well. We're very judgy. We're a very hateful group of people. We can't. We don't. I'm just saying. We can't see anybody just win if they come out the same situation we did. Like if you know Lil Ray Ray that lived down the street. And Lil Ray Ray became a lawyer, everybody in the hood's gonna hate on Lil Ray Ray. Cause he's like, he ain't play basketball?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I use my brain.
Bro, yeah.
They're gonna hate. And then Lil Ray Ray, being weak, could be like, yeah, you're right, I don't need to be a lawyer. No, bro, chase your dreams. Go do that. Forget about everybody. Yeah, I love my hood, I'm gonna come back one day. But I gotta do this right now.
You know, and I'm thankful, honestly, that
first of all, right now.
I want to be thankful for our dad. I mean, the dude. We were just talking about this last night, me and my brother. We had the most solid, and thankfully, you know, like our whole life, we were surrounded by a family that has always been professional, white collar family. All of them, you know,
they don't play. Yeah.
All of them, you know, get to this money. All of them are entrepreneurs. All of them, you know, we got to go to a ritzy private school and all that kind of stuff. And we grew up with a dad. You know, the dude is an absolute G, and I hope to actually be able to interview him.
And don't get that misunderstood to say that we were born into money. Everything that we have now, we created ourselves.
Yeah, and we watched our family create.
And same thing to piggyback what he said, how solid my dad is. My dad worked that much to put us in a position to be in a private school. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, we're just gonna wake up. No.
And even this mindset of I hate the rich, guy. This whole idea of I hate the rich is a slave-minded mindset because the rich had to, every time you see money, every time you see a Lambo walking past, instead of being angry, like, oh my gosh, they got it and I don't,
be jealous.
Think of how hard did they have to work to get there.
Be uncomfortable.
A crazy amount of work had to go into put in there. A crazy amount of blood, sweat, tears, and time had to go and get there. So our dad was, and is, this dude's a G. Served in the Marine Corps. Served in the Army.
No, that's his
in
goal.
The Air Force.
He's literally, that's how much of he's G. He literally told us, I'm going to go into every single branch and do 5 years.
Worked in intelligence.
Guaranteed.
Was a private
He's
military.
on his last one right now.
Worked in intelligence. Did private contracting for the CIA and did things like that. Would fix different things like that. Like, this dude is a G. Now he's investing. Now he's a real estate investor.
He's a deacon, owns a church. Like, he just insane.
Yeah, he's a minister in the church.
It's like, yo.
But every day, he had us up teaching lessons, taught us how to hunt, how to fish, taught us how to survive, taught us how to fight, had us both in martial arts from like 5 and 6 years old. Taught us,
martial arts, wrestling, physical sports. And I'm not saying you have to do a physical sport to be the best, but that kind of aggression, being around that killer mindset helps you. Like basketball, I would suggest. Soccer, I would suggest. Football, I would suggest. Lacrosse, something where they put their hands on you. Absolutely.
Just like we said last night, men.
Golf is a finesse sport to me. To me, that's not really a sport. That's just finesse.
But it still teaches competitiveness. Like, as I said, men have always had the proclivity to want to conquer something in warfare. And sport is just simulated warfare.
Yeah.
And, the thing of our dad is such a solid dude, and I can really attribute him to being how we both turned out to be killers. Because, we had that advantage that so many other black kids didn't. And, and he's a dude I can still call this day. I remember before I lost my virginity, I called this man and said, how do I do this? But, he is that kind of guy, and I'm so thankful for having him around. And I will say, I'm thankful that even as a black man, this dude is a conservative and taught us to resist the slave mind, the slave-minded
I'll pause you
culture.
there. As we grow in the conversations that we have with our dad, don't get us wrong. He's not perfect. He had his struggles. He definitely went through his battles.
Yeah.
And
as we all
and to piggyback what he's saying is to be a conservative, meaning he switched his mindset.
Taking for himself.
He was in that box.
Born to the slave-minded, you have to be a Democrat.
But then he grew up, he was like, this is dumb.
This isn't
working.
This doesn't match with anything I read in the Bible,
it just
anything in common sense, all that stuff. So, I want to ask you this. How do you balance your pursuit of women and being a man who has a as a man, you have a natural, I always tell people, a man's desire to have sex is equivalent to the sensation of hunger, the sensation of being tired, the sensation of being thirsty. These biological needs, that's equivalent to the man's desire to have sex. And a woman will never understand it. But how do you balance pursuing women and taking care of that need with the chase and pursuit of the bag?
Do you want me to be very vulnerable with you?
Go for it, man.
How toxic and how very ignorant people are, and the message that he pours into me daily to say surround yourself by winners. I take that a step further. I gotta surround my girl has to be a winner too. She has to be my extra set of hands. She has to be my extra set of eyes to essentially propel me even further, so that when I get to the top, all I gotta do is put my hand out and she grabs it. You know what I mean? That's the level I take it. So
you're talking about a girl
I don't really
seriously
chase,
or a recreational use only girl?
No, for real. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm honestly over it. Don't get me wrong. The itch is still there. I'll still look.
So you're saying your brother's just a hoe?
No. I think you just have less discipline than I do.
Ooh.
I've been through the ringer a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm just I'm cool. Real talk. I'm cool. I'm only so really focused on my progress. Knowing that she gonna be there. She coming.
So I dare say that one of the best ways for a man who wants to be in a situation where he can have his success, he can earn his money, can do the things he wants, if he just focuses on himself, focuses on getting his goals, on
Absolutely.
making his own money, then everything else will go. If you
falls
remember
into
when we were
line.
younger, our mom used to say whenever we would have issues with like dating girls and stuff, our mom would always say, "Hey, the more you work and the harder you work to get these grades, the harder you work to make this money, the women will be there. They'll come.
They're coming.
Yeah, and
Shape. What color you want?
Whatever you want.
Everything
And
you're
so
looking for.
I
She's
think
coming.
I think that if you just make your focus, I said this in a podcast one time. Every time you feel the urge, the need to, want to be with the woman, want to have sex, want to do any of these things,
Ask yourself why.
if you, or not even just ask yourself why, like those desires are real and they're biologically.
Oh yeah,
real.
they're real.
Every time you feel those things, instead of like doing instead of like taking that out, like using porn as a quick release, or just like getting angry at yourself, or taking time away from your purpose to go chase a piece of butt, and instead of doing that, you think, how about I use this sexual desire to pour even more into my purpose, because when I get to where I want to go, by achieving this purpose, by pushing on this purpose, I'll have as many options as I want.
Not just that, I can also give, because I know some guys are goal oriented. Say there's a girl that's interested, or there's a girl that you're interested, and you guys click. She's on go, you're on go. She's ready. Like, you can call her. She's gonna do any and everything for you. Make that your motivational piece. I'm always gonna throw that in there to be motivation. Make her your motivation. Not saying you're doing it for her, but saying, okay, I have to make X amount of dollars at the end of the week just in order to hit. And that's your goal.
Yeah, in order for me to even be pleased with myself.
Period.
Yeah. In order for me to not look at myself
And what that
in the
would
mirror
do
and
is
say you're a pussy.
what that does, it sets a habit.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, this is normal. I'm
Habits
making
make
this.
lifestyles.
I'm making this every day. This is not normal for me. And then it'll get to a point where it's like, you don't necessarily need to do that anymore.
Yep.
then it's like, okay, I'm kicking back. I'm pina coladas it up. I'm mojitoing it up. Like, yeah, it's easy.
And don't ask about who's under the table. Yo. All right, last question. I know it's getting late, and I appreciate your time so far.
Yeah,
I really
for sure.
appreciate you for taking some time to come and interview and give some of these young kids, some of these young G's out here, some inspiration. One thing that I always talk about, I know we act crazy, we talk crazy sometimes, but it's definitely central to how we grew up, central to each of our lives. Where do you think faith fits into being the journey? Where do you think faith fits in the journey of
faith in
being
God?
a high value man? Yeah, faith. I mean, of course, like belief in a higher power, belief in God, a system of morals, of values, of guidance. Where do you think faith fits in on the journey to success for a young man?
Faith is a pivotal key. You have to have faith in yourself that you're going to do it. You have to have that faith that you're going to achieve it. You have to have faith that you're going to stay there. And then you're also that you're not going to get complacent. Once you reach the top, that's a battle in itself. Just to stay there. Yeah, you're here in a month. You go swim still. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm kind of not understanding. I think that's where my brain is taking it.
The way I would answer the question is I would say faith is absolutely essential, because morality, every sense of morality, right and wrong, comes from the root of faith. We grew up in a Christian household, and you cannot make me deny my faith. And I believe, part of being a high value man is having that moral system, because just having money doesn't make you a high value man.
Yeah.
Nobody respects a dude who's a human trafficker or a guy that kidnaps young girls and sells them to sex
That's not
slavery.
funny, by the
He's
way.
got tons. No, it's not funny. He's got tons of money, but nobody respects him because he has no morality.
Yeah.
But morality is kind of one of the things that gives the background and foundation behind being a high value man. And on this journey to making money to success, it takes blood, sweat, tears, and everything you've got. I always say you can't expect an extraordinary life without putting forth extraordinary effort. And in order to get there,
Absolutely.
it takes times when you hit your absolute end and you're like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I've been up for 3 days straight. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm wore out. I hit setback after setback, and you need to find a faith. You need to find strength in something that's higher than you, and that's where faith comes in. So faith gives you the motivation, the power, the strength outside of yourself to get to your goals. But for me, faith also sets the foundation of morality that even defines a man of being high value in the first place.
Got you.
You agree with that?
I do. No. You honestly just taught me something. That's why I'm just listening and absorbing. Yeah. I'm learning as well, guys. I'm like, this is Yeah, I'm just learning. Like,
Yeah, we're all on this journey together. And you know that.
Man.
we're all on this journey together, and that's what we're all about.
I don't know it all. I think that's what I was trying to say. I don't know everything.
That's what this podcast is all about. So, man, I appreciate your time. I
All right.
appreciate
Yes,
you
sir.
taking
Yes,
time
sir.
to spend
Yes,
talking
sir.
to my friends here, talking to my people out here in the Indie Medic Podcast Network. And that's what we're all about, making people the strongest, the wealthiest, the richest, the sexiest people that they can possibly be, by becoming a high-value man, by taking those extra steps to put forth extraordinary effort to get the extraordinary lives that they want. That's what we're all about at the Indie Medic Podcast. Do you want to go ahead and plug your social media so people can go and follow you?
I don't actually have any social media. That's how different I am. I don't have any Instagram. But you can find me at EB Ballin, so that's E_B_Ballin. That's on Twitter. You'll see me, nice little picture. So I'll repeat it again. That's E_B_Ballin. Real simple. Hit me up on Twitter in my DMs. You can reach me there. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's right. So, guys, go ahead and give this video a like, give us a subscribe on the Indie Medic Podcast. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Indie Medic Podcast. You guys see the Instagram tag below. Guys, thank you so much. We love you guys. Go forth and conquer. The world is yours.
Thank